What's up, guys? Welcome to another 5-Minute Friday and to beautiful downtown Silver City, where I hope I don't get run over, even though this isn't the biggest metroplex in the world. I'm gonna use the drift method. Freaking incredible. Round F16 for that to get that sunburst. So tonight I got something new and I'm gonna play with it, and it's my Galaxy S9, which is actually set up across the street. So I want to test out the low light capabilities of this guy. And to do that, I figured I would come test it out downtown and do some car trails, some light trails in front of the beautiful restored Silco Theater and the historic downtown buildings. And hopefully we'll get a couple cars driving by before everybody goes to sleep. Anyway, something I was surprised about is I'm set up here. So here's my setup, and I took a couple of shots and it's too bright. I got it, I want like the full 10 seconds for the cars, but because I actually thought that I would switch it to its new fancy 1.5 aperture, but I'm actually having to leave it at the 2.4 aperture, and even with that I'm still getting only 1 second shutter, and that's still overexposed. So I grabbed my filters. I'm gonna put some filters on here and test it out. All right. Problem number one. I have this case to go on it. It's a Tech 21 tactical case. I don't think it matters because I think it's gonna have the same problem with any case. But I don't know if you can see that, but I try to put the filter on and it doesn't fit. So I'm gonna have to take the case off because the case is not allowing the filter to go on all the way. It's kind of funny. Okay, I finally got this figured out. So I've got the ND8 filter on. I had to take the case off so the filters would fit, and I've got it to the aperture set to the standard 2.4, 10-second shutter. That's the longest it'll go, but that's the longest that I want. I want that full length, and I've got it at ISO 50, which is the lowest it can go, so everything should be roughly noiseless. I mean, you're gonna get noise from a long exposure like this on a sensor this tiny, but it's going to be as least noisy as possible. I'm pretty sure that's a term. You know what I mean. Also, I figured since I'm out here and I've got it sitting on my 5D4, I might as well compare it. So I've got the 5D4 set to 10-second exposure, ISO 100, which is the lowest it goes. And in order to compensate for that, because I'm not putting a filter on the 5D, I've got it at aperture of f10. So that's going to be, you know, roughly close enough. This isn't the most scientific test in the world, but just give you an idea of how the S9 compares to a real camera. All right, well, I think I've about shot this spot to death because there's really only one shot. All right, so I think I'm gonna go home, check out the images, and we'll go from there and see what I think. So I'll see you back in the studio. All right, so it's the next day. I've had a chance to check out the images. First of all, I'm pretty impressed. Even with my errors and my issues with the filters and all that stuff last night, I'm impressed. This image here, this is from the phone, and this is the one that was at f2.4, 10-second shutter, ISO 50, and had the ND8 filter on. And even though it's a little soft, I think that's mostly my part because I didn't put the self-timer on. I didn't put either a 2 or 10-second self-timer, which this phone can do, and I should have because that would have eliminated more shake. Even with all of that, I still think this is a pretty decent photo for the phone, so I'm pretty happy with it. If you want to see though, here is the image, this roughly the same image from the 5D Mark IV. And clearly the 5D Mark IV is much sharper, it's much better, it's much cleaner. But that's what you get when you get a $3,000 DSLR with good glass versus the cell phone. So all that being said, I'm still really impressed with this phone so far. Like I said, that was my initial test with it. I haven't done anything else with it, and I can assure you I will be doing much more. I want to do some regular low light stuff, not the long exposures, just regular low light, and really push it to see how it does, and actually be able to use the f1.5 aperture and maybe crank the ISO up to see how it handles high ISO. So I'll be going on more night excursions for that. I'm also going to be testing out all other aspects of this phone. I want to test out the super slow-mo, the 4K. I've heard that the stability, the image stabilization is better in this than it was in my Note 8, and I'm really looking forward to testing that. So like I said, there will be more reviews and more tests of this coming, and this was by no means a comprehensive anything, clearly. So take this outing and my test results and all that with a grain of salt until I get some better stuff here in the next week or two. And I think that's it. I'm going to wrap it up and try to keep it around 5 minutes for this 5-Minute Friday. So if you like this stuff and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button on the video. It really helps me out. And if you have any questions or anything you want to see me talk about concerning the S9 Plus camera, let me know in the comments below. I love reading what you guys want to see, and I'm doing this stuff for everybody. So comment down below again if you have any questions or anything you want to see, and hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.